Hey everybody, what is going on? It's your boy, Yammie Noob, Secret Ducatista Scrambler Boy. I've heard your woes. You said, Yammie, the desert sled hasn't been enough on the channel. So I was like, you know what? We've got our new office. We're all in quarantine, or we're supposed to be anyways. So we'll take the Scrambler out and leave the other bikes up there. Today's video, I thought it would be fun to discuss what I would do differently if I were to start riding today. I've got some thoughts about this. I was thinking about this because I've seen, for some reason, I think it's because people on the East Coast are in quarantine, and I think they just have a lot of time on their hands, like a lot of us. And, I've just seen a lot of questions like, oh, Yammie, what should I get as my first bike? I'm this age, I have this situation, what should I get as my first? I have gotten a big uptick in those kinds of requests. And I got to thinking, I was like, man, if I were to start riding, today, what would I get? What would I do? If I had the knowledge I have now, and I was, 21 again, because I'm 27 now. If I was 21 again when I started riding, what would I do differently? So today, I guess I'd walk you through my experience with my first bikes and kind of what I would do differently. But let's get started, shall we? Let's do it. Why not? So we're over here today. This is like a little... I call it my little Scrambler playground because Hidden Falls Adventure Park is currently closed due to COVID-19. So we make do with what we have. I'm on the side of the highway here, just goofing around on this little piece of dirt here with my Scrambler. Okie dokie. This bike is super fun to ride in these conditions, man. Yeah, so what would I do differently if I were to ride starting today? We got a little bit of mud here. Started to rain the other night. Oh yeah, slippery. So when I started riding, I was 21 years old. It was 2015, and I did the dumb thing of I literally just I got online, and I remember looking up some bikes, and I was like, man, I like Yamahas. I don't know why, I just had a certain affinity for Yamahas even before I knew anything about motorcycles. And I was like, oh man, I think a Yamaha would be cool. So I literally just looked up. I don't know how I found out that a smaller bike would be better than a bigger one. I think I just intuitively knew that. And I knew that I wanted a sport bike. I knew that I wanted something sporty. I like the smaller bikes because I was like, I can grow into it. That'll be fun. And I saw that the new R3 had just come out. So I was like, I think that's a good option. Why not get the R3? That would be good. That was literally my decision-making process. I did not calculate or consider anything. I just liked the R3, so I went and bought it. I did the really stupid thing of buying it financed. So I went little 21-year-old me at my first job out of school, and it was making whatever a young kid would make, probably under $60,000 a year for sure. Just had this BS office job. Went and financed my first bike because I didn't have the cash to buy it at the time because I was just a sweet little 21-year-old boy. And got absolutely destroyed with the payments. I wouldn't say destroyed. I just paid way more interest than I needed to when I got that bike. And then when I went to go sell it, I took a big old depreciation hit as well. So I think I bought it for, out the door, damn near $6,000. And then I sold it for $38,000. So kind of a decent loss there. If I were to go back, it's funny because now I have the Scrambler, and I really, really like these styles of bikes, and I like sort of the dual sports and the DRZs of the world. When I did my MSF course, I did it on a CRF 250L, and I really, really liked it. I remember when I rode it around the lot, I loved how tall it was. I liked the commanding kind of riding position that it had. I really enjoyed it, and part of me was like, what if I just bought a Honda CRF 250L? I remember I thought that right after I got out of the MSF, and then I was like, no, I really want the R3 because I really want something sporty and I want something fun. So that was my thought process with that. But if I were to do it again, geez, man, I don't know. I think I did a great thing by getting a a small displacement bike. I think I would start out on a small displacement bike again for sure if I were to do it all over. But part of me thinks like, well, you know, would I have been happy with like an FC07 or something? Because I was also looking at FC07s as my first, but then I ultimately decided that, you know, I didn't need 75 horsepower for my very first bike, and I wanted to have something I could have fun with without feeling like I could get into a lot of trouble with it. So that's what I did for the first bike. So yeah, if I were to do it over again, maybe I'd get like a Z400 or something. I think those bikes are really cool. Maybe a Duke 390, that would have been really fun. But again, I don't think I would have known to, you know, go for a naked. Maybe I should have done more research. Maybe you guys that, you know, spend months and months researching and thinking about what bike to get, maybe you're on the right path there, because it does make a lot of sense to, you know, look over all your options and make sure you're getting what you want to get. I literally just got the R3 because I liked the R3, and that was it. That was my whole decision-making process. The other thing I would have done as well when I started out riding would be to get a truck or something that could haul a bike way earlier before I did. So I rode with just a motorcycle, just a single bike kind of garage for damn near 2.5 years, I think. I always had either like one or maybe two bikes at the very most while I was like shuffling or selling one or the other. And I never had a way to transport my bikes. And I feel like if I had sorted out a bike transport situation earlier, I would have gotten into more track day riding, which is what I like to do, earlier in my riding career. I did my very first track day after about 1.5 years of riding on the street. I went and did my first track day with my Daytona, my first one that I had. But I feel like nowadays, if I were to like map this all out, which again, you can't really map it out because motorcycles are so emotional, we're so attached to them, you know what I mean? It's very difficult to do all this so calculated and so, you know, off the head like that instead of with the heart. Yeah, I probably would have, maybe I would have gotten like a Ninja 300 that would have been a lot cheaper than an R3, and then I would have just gone to the track with that instead of buying literally like a track prepped from the factory, you know, 675R, which is a very serious motorcycle. Very committed, very racy, very focused. I always thought back then, I was like, oh, naked bikes are, you know, they're for people who are soft, you know, they're people who can't ride like a real super sport on the street. It's just really stupid stuff I used to think about bikes back then. Yeah, which is hilarious because I have so much more fun on this bike than I ever had with my Daytona on the street. So yeah, I think I would have gotten a Ninja 300. I would have sorted out a truck way early on, and I would have probably started doing more track days as soon as possible and done them consistently, which was the big thing. Because I did my first track day sometime in 2016, summer of 2016, and then I only did my second track day like March of 2017. So I went like nearly 8 months or 9 months without doing another track day after doing my first, which is kind of rough, you know? If I'd planned a little bit better and if I'd really thought about it, I could have sorted that out and started doing that more earnestly a bit sooner. The other thing that's really cool, I think, for a lot of you guys is the fact that you grow up in a household that has motorcycles. So I think a lot of you, your first exposure to a bike is when you're a kid on a dirt bike, and that's so badass, man. It's so cool to be like, I don't know, like 10 years old and to have a thing with 2 wheels and an engine. That's amazing. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be a little 80cc little, you know, pit bike, but that's fucking rad. Like, I would have killed to have that when I was a kid. There was a kid in my neighborhood when I was growing up in Florida who he had one of those like little electric pit bikes or whatever, and I absolutely loved the thing. I got to take it around the neighborhood one time and I was like, oh my god, this is so cool. And so I always had these like little flashes of exposures to motorcycles until I was finally old enough to just go and get one myself. But I wish I'd started when I was way younger, but again, I didn't live in a household that was super motorcycle friendly. Yeah, my dad used to ride, but then he thought that they were too dangerous later in life, and he really didn't want me to get on one. You know, I eventually did because, you know, you can't really control what your kids do after they're grown and have their own jobs and are on their own. So yeah, what else would I do differently? Oh, cheeky little first gen Daytona. That's quite nice. I think another thing I would have gotten into, like, I kind of see two paths for myself. I feel like if I had bought the CRF 250L as my first bike, I would have been so much more, you know, trying to go off-road and trying to have fun with it and trying to wheelie it and trying to, like, actually have fun with my bike. But at the time, I didn't realize that having fun with a motorcycle doesn't mean going 150 miles per hour on the street. Like, you can have so much fun with a bike going slow speeds, you know? You don't have to go super fast to have fun with the bike. And I remember feeling that because I was in the MSF and the parking lot speeds, and I really liked that little CRF. I still think about it to this day because it was the first bike I actually really rode. It was the first motorcycle that I got the chance to ride. So I think about it quite a bit, actually. So yeah, I wish I'd figured that out as well. I wish I'd figured out that slower speeds is more fun in the right conditions, you know? If you are, you know, going around like little dirt trails and stuff and sliding the rear wheel around and popping little wheelies and doing jumps, that's way more fun than just riding quickly on the street. It's not as fun as track day riding for me. I have a lot more fun, you know, really pushing and squeezing out every last ounce of my Daytona on the track. I think that's a lot of fun. But, you know, I think if I had figured that out earlier, I would have had a better time motorcycling, would have had more fun with it. And yeah, there's a quote that I saw one time on a forum. It was like, every bike leads to dirt bikes. Basically what they were saying is like, every rider in their riding career eventually discovers dirt bikes and eventually discovers how fun they are. And they are super fun. Like, being on the dirt, being on a lightweight bike is super, super fun. It's so, like, different than riding on the street, and there's no speed limits, there's no rules, really. It's a lot of fun. So I wish I'd figured that out earlier. So if I had to do it all over again, if I was 21 and had all the knowledge I have now, I would have saved up cash, would not have financed my first bike. I would have probably bought a little beater Ninja 300, because, you know, I can't get a Ninja 400 back then because I started riding in 2015 and the 400 wasn't out yet. Oh, look at that. Is that a turkey? A pheasant? I think that was, I don't know what the hell that was. It was a big ass bird. That's why you don't speed on the street. If I was going super fast around that corner, I might have hit that bird. Yeah, so I think, you know, wouldn't have financed my bike, would have got a little Ninja 300, would have learned on it, would have had fun with it, would have started taking it to track days, and then, as my second bike, I wouldn't have gotten a big 600 or something like that. I would have probably gotten a little dirt bike. I think a little 250, you know, have fun with it type of thing. I think it would have been a lot of fun. That would have been all the fun that I needed. But again, when you're 21, you have such an ego, you have such like a stupid way of thinking about things. You think that you've got to get a big bad bike, you've got to get something with, you know, damn near 200 horsepower to have fun with it. Of course, it's the only way you can have fun with the motorcycle. If only I knew, man. If only I knew that all the fun is in the slow speeds and the slides and the skids and the wheelies and the jumps. That's the fun stuff, you know? And honestly, like this, I feel like a bike with, you know, 75-ish horsepower for the street is more than enough. That's more than enough to have fun and cruise around and ride and enjoy. I like this one particularly because it looks great. It's got a little bit of off-road capability, so you can go and hit some dirt, hit your favorite backcountry road, and come back home and have a nice time. So that's why I love this bike so much, man. But yeah, I think that's what I would have done. I'm getting a lot of comments lately of people being like, oh, you know, Yammie, I want a 600 as my first bike. What should I do? Gosh, I don't know why. I've gotten like 10 of those lately. And I think I need to do a better job of telling people that like a 600 is just like such a dumb first bike to get. It's uncomfortable. It's too fast. It's annoying to ride. You're not going to have fun. You're not going to learn. All you're going to do is be scared of it. Like, get something smaller. It's so much more fun to ride a smaller bike when you're starting out, because you actually feel like you can learn with it and it's not scary, you know? Like, that's where the fun is. Carrying the speed through here. Nice and easy, you know, mellow. I used to rip through this road on my Daytona so goddamn fast. There used to be a video up on my YouTube channel where I was just absolutely ripping this road and treating it like a racetrack, and that's just so dumb. Like, look at where the runoffs are here, guys. Like, there's nowhere to go. If you overshoot this corner, you're going in that ditch over there. Like, you are going to have a bad day if you do that. Yeah, that's the other thing I really wish I could have told myself when I was younger. It's just like, there is literally no reason to ride super fast on the street. It's the dumbest thing in the world. The margin for error is so small, guys. Like, all through, look at all around here in these corners. Like, you have nowhere to go. And it's funny because even on track, I've had different situations on track. I've had several low sides on track. I've never gone off the track, you know, super far. I've never overshot a corner on a track. I tend to mind my braking zones pretty well. I'm sure it's going to happen to me someday when I'm not paying attention. I'm going to overshoot a corner on track. But even low siding, you know, like, there's no obstacles on track, and it's just so nice and easy. So that's definitely something I would have told myself when I was starting out as well. Just like, man, just take it easy on the street, dude. There's no reason to push. No reason at all to go crazy on the street. You're gonna get yourself hurt, which is what happened. Got myself hurt. One thing I did well, but it was a little misguided, was like, I really treated riding like a craft, and I'm glad I did. I really took it seriously, and I wanted to learn about it, you know, and I wanted to get good with it. But the way I was going about it, I think, was not wise. To go out and practice on the street, try to practice my trail braking at the time, which is hilarious to think that I thought that I was even pushing at all when I was riding a parade lap pace. Yeah, I would definitely, you know, I'm glad that I treated it like a craft and I wanted to really learn, but I would have taken it to the track way sooner. Like, it's so weird nowadays, like, taking this road at a mellow pace versus what I used to do on it. You start to see more of it too. You start to notice how pretty these big hills are, and how there's little flowers everywhere, and how there's, you know, just beautiful houses and, you know, waterfront all around here. It's really nice. And that's something that I would definitely have stressed to my younger self as well. It's like, hey, like, I know it sounds cliche, but just like, stop and smell the roses. Like, riding a bike is so special. Being able to be on a motorcycle and just like cruising through your favorite road like this is something so special. And since I didn't have it for a long time after my wreck, I think that's what really made me realize just how special it is, honestly. Because when you go without motorcycling for that long, it really puts into perspective how important it is. At least it did for me. You know, I spent 18 months off the bike while I was recovering from my last accident, which, you know, fingers crossed, not looking to get into another big wreck like that ever again. But yeah, it's just, you know, it's something that I would really want to implore on my younger self, where it's like, hey, this is like a super dangerous activity, and it's such a privilege to be able to do it. It's such an amazing thing, and you should really cherish it and enjoy it for what it is, and never treat it like it's something you're owed. You know, don't ever feel entitled to motorcycling, because it's something that you never should feel entitled to. But yeah, in a lot of ways, the sled kind of, I don't know, it's like, it gives me that feeling that the CRF gave me when I very first started riding motorcycles. But then it's also got this just lovely torquey V-twin underneath it as well. Yeah, it's so weird, because like, you know, when I was starting out riding, I really loved the retro, neo retro kind of bikes like this one. This bike didn't exist when I started riding, but it's just so cool. Like, this bike ticks off so many boxes for me, you know. Like, it's got the retro looks to it, which I love. It's got this, you know, kind of dirt boy style to it. It's got this lovely engine in it. It's a little heavy. I wish it was about 50 pounds lighter, but, you know, can't have it all. You can't have it all. So guys, I think that's going to wrap it up for today. I hope that gave you some insight to what I wish I did when I started riding. Let me know if you are starting to ride and what you're thinking about and kind of your thought process so far with it. Would love to listen and try to help you out if I can. Hopefully this video helps you out if possible. I know that not everyone's looking for the same thing from motorcycling. Some people, you know, want to cruise around on a big American cruiser. Other people want to, you know, rip up their favorite trails and everyone want to ride on the street. You know, me, myself, I really enjoy all kinds of motorcycling, and I think it makes me a better rider to appreciate all the different types of motorcycling that there is out there. But with that being said, hope you enjoyed this video. If you like what we do here, remember to hit the link down to yammie.co. It's a great way to support what we do here on this channel, and you get entered to win some free bikes, and you get access to our Discord server. It's a great community of like-minded people all having fun on a big chat room. It's definitely a highlight of my day, just checking in on my favorite boys over there on the Discord server. And I say boys loosely, I call them all B-O-I-S boys because they're all just, you know, boys to me. It's a gender neutral term, as it were. So yeah, hit the link down below. It's a great way to support what we do. You win some free bikes. And yeah, catch you guys in the next one. See you later.